Howdy y'all, and welcome to Jab playing Satisfactory Plus 1.0. Alright guys, it is update day. That's right. It is Tuesday and 1.1 has updated on Satisfactory. I have some probably really bad news and some good news for everybody. So let's talk about one thing. Last time we were together, I built all this and explained to you how all this stuff works, and it was amazing. It was cool. It was super. But then, remember when I told you when we started this journey that this was a pre-alpha build? Well, there was a patch. And the patch in the game, there was a rebalancing patch, and it changed some of the recipes. Right? So one of the recipes is the washer now only takes sit right ore instead of crushed ore the way it does. And it's for a rebalancing reason. I understand why they did it. And I'm okay with that. The problem is I'm not exactly sure how many recipes have been changed other than this one. And I feel like that, well, it looks like we're going to have to reboot. Why? Well, because I want to see what changes have been done. All right, so that's one issue. The other issue is it is 1.1 day, right? And I would imagine a lot of you guys have updated your game to 1.1. All right, so it boils down to this. In order to play Satisfactory Plus, it can only be played on update 1.0. You can't do it on 1.1. If you're playing on Epic, there is no way to play 1.0 after you've updated. So if you're on the Epic branch, you have to pause your update, which I did. On top of that, you have to redirect the ability to restart your game to bypass the Epic launcher, because if you don't, it won't let you go into the game until you update it. If you're on the Steam branch, you have the ability to pick what you want, and that's fine. You can play on the older version. So for some of you guys out there, if you're like me, you have it on Epic Games, unless you pause the game, paused updates, you're SOL, and you're not going to be able to play this until the update happens. Will there be an update to where we can play it on 1.1? There will be. When? Who knows? The main developer of the mod right now is out of town for the week. He is making messages on his Discord, but it won't be this week. And to be honest, I'm not going to push him and ask him when. It was presented there, and it would be, well, when it happens, it happens. So where do we go from here? That's a great question. And I think the answer is, we just start over, right? I have the ability to restart, right? From landing on the planet and finding and redoing it. And the reason I'm okay with it, because it was an alpha build, and when you go into it, it's an alpha build. All the rebalancing has been done in between tier 1 through 6. Once you get through 6, you're blocked anyway. You can't go any further because the other tiers haven't been built. But I'm nowhere near tier 6 yet. And the other thing is, there are things that I skipped by that I didn't show you that I regret. Right? So, example, right? I didn't show you how I got to overclocking and underclocking. Like I didn't show you unlocking these things. Like there's things I didn't show you that I wish I had. And there was some skipping along the way, and so on and so forth. Basically, a long story short, I don't feel like I did a very good job explaining what it was I'm doing or how to go about it. There's been some talks behind the scenes with some friends of mine that made some recommendations of, well, hey, there are some things that you could do. And I'll give you an example, right? I found a cool mod that lets me do this, right? So now I had the ability to kind of, like, if all this stuff was working, right? We could see the belts moving and so on and so forth within reason. I don't know if that's going to show it very well because it is kind of janky looking, right? Or I could do it this way, maybe. Well, hang on a second. Yeah, I could kind of do it this way and, show the stuff moving and grooving. You just have to get over the fact that, I'm kind of dangling in the air right there. So there are some things that I can do, well, how do I get back out of the air? Okay. So there are some things I can do to kind of show the picture, the story in the way I want. So I've decided that as far as Satisfactory Plus 1.0, this particular playthrough, we've completed it. This is going to be the last video on this. If you're interested in seeing how I go about this and doing it differently, and taking the lessons that I've learned and, going through the game and, breaking it down, right? Giving you the information that's needed to, fairly think about whether this is the mod for you or not in the future when it's available. And we'll just go from there. All right, guys. Hey, it's short, it's sweet. We're going to throw it out there. Like I said, sadly, this will be the last episode for this particular series. However, I'm going to be starting another series, and I think that hey, come check it out, right? It may be the series for you, right? I have some ideas of making it bigger and better. Will it be? I don't know, but it'll be a fun journey. All right, guys, if I don't see you in between now and then, y'all have a fantastic week. And as always, happy farming.